everyone, my name is Elle in case you didn't already know, and welcome to a Project Pan finale. So I have decided to end my Everyday Essentials Project Pan. I just thought it was time. I've been working on these products for a while. I finished one more and I really don't think I'm going to be finishing the others anytime soon. So let's start with the product that I did finish. This is the concealer from Becca. This is the Aqualuminous Perfecting Concealer. So this was an okay concealer. The thing I disliked the most about it was that it was not the correct color for me. And I did buy the one that was supposed to be for fair skin with cooler undertones. And it's just a little bit too dark, a little bit too yellow for me. So that immediately made it a product that was hard to work with. The other thing is that it's a very light coverage, so even if it was a correct color match for me, I feel like it's still too light for where I would use a product like this, which is underneath my eyes. I need something with some decent coverage, especially because my dark circles have been no joke recently. Within the last, I don't know, 2 years and 2 months maybe to correspond with how old my son is. Yeah, I need a new under eye concealer, by the way, so if you guys have any recommendations, hit me up with it. The one I have liked previously was the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, no surprise there. So I might go back to that one, but I'm interested to hear what you guys like, what you would recommend, because I'm willing to try something new, because I actually have no concealers like this anymore. I know, finally, I'm making progress, and now it's time to try some new things, which is the good thing about panning stuff. So you get to try some more. So anyway, this is done, so at least one more victory from this project pan. Alright, so the rest of the products are things that I'm still working on, but I just need to work on some other products. I need to rotate around. If you've done a lot of project pans and you've done a lot of project pans in a row continuously, you'll know what I mean. It gets really exhausting and sometimes you just want to play with other things. Now this is a product I don't like that much, but it serves its purpose, and that's the Lock It concealer from Kat Von D in white. This is a very thick concealer. Obviously I'm not going to be wearing white on its own. No, but it's a good mixing product. So I did mix a little bit of it with the Becca to make it a better color match and to be brighter. Every now and then, if I really need something underneath my eyes, like if I'm just having the worst darkness there and my color corrector isn't cutting it, foundation alone isn't working, I'll put like one drop, like literally one thing underneath my eyes and then blend it out, and it does work to brighten up my under eye. I just have to then set it with some sort of powder, otherwise it ends up being too white and you get that sort of reverse panda situation going. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good look. So this is a product I'll hang on to because it's good for mixing. It does work in those cases. That's why I like straight up white products for mixing to make things lighter. Ideally, I would have things that all match me and then I wouldn't need to use this, but every now and then in an absolute crunch, it works. And speaking of white mixing products, I still have a little bit remaining of this guy from the Body Shop. This is the Shade Adjusting Drops in Lightening or White. I mix this with foundation, so I will make my little foundation cocktail on the back of my hand with whatever foundations I'm mixing together, and this if I need it. I haven't been needing it that often because I've been actually using the Fenty Beauty foundation to mix with some of my darker foundations. Anything that's like a shade too dark for me, I can mix with the Fenty to get a really good match and a really good kind of foundation. It works so well. I've been so happy with mixing a few different things together. For things that are a few shades darker, that's where this comes in handy, and I've ended up mixing like 2, 3, 4 things together. I just get crazy mixing stuff to find something that really works and matches my skin tone. I just like working with foundations that match me straight out on their own, but I am still working through a few things that are too dark for me, and that's where stuff like this comes in handy. So I'm only using it when I need it though, and I'm not trying to finish it faster. The good thing I've experienced with this kind of project pan is that it was an everyday project pan. A lot of these things were sort of my essential items, and I've learned a lot from using them, but I've also found some new things along the way, and I don't need to force myself to finish something that's still good that I like, but I just don't need as much of right now. So that's just another reason why I decided to stop this project. I have the Benefit Highbrow. This is a crayon that you can use to highlight your brow bone area. It's a very good pink shade. I don't really like products like this sort of cream things for the brow bone area. I feel like it just doesn't end up brightening or lifting my brows. Like I'll see it on some people and it really makes a huge difference. For me, I don't find that it makes a huge difference. I was using it on my waterline for a while, and then I tried to find an answer to whether or not it was eye safe, and I could not get an answer. I was like tweeting Benefit. I wrote on their Facebook. I was like, please just let me know if it's eye safe or not to use like on my waterline, and no one responded back to me. So I don't know if I should continue to use it that way or not. I do have actual eyeliners that are this color, so I might as well just actually use those because they were actually formulated for the eye area. This is supposed to be for the brow bone area, so there is a difference between putting it right near your eyeball and putting it on your eyebrow. Huge difference. So I'll use it from time to time. I don't need a lot of product though either. I don't have a lot of lid space. I don't have a lot of space there at all. So when I do a little bit of brow bone highlighting, it's a very, very small area. So it's going to take me a while. It takes a long while, I think, to use this up. So I'll just use it when I need to use it and hang on to it while it's still good. Another product I feel like I've used forever, but I have like no progress on, is this contour kit from Smashbox. I'm using this all the time, I usually only use this shade right here though, the contour shade, but like there's barely even a dip. Like there's the slightest dip in there, the really slightest dip, but I don't know, I'm kind of tired of it because it's the only contour product I've been using in all occasions, and I really miss using my Burberry one. I have a Burberry blush that I used to use for my day-to-day contour, and I really love the way that that looks, so I kind of want to go back to that for a little bit because I've just been missing it. And I've got a few other contour things, like a few other contour kind of blushes. I've got some from MAC. I've got my Kat Von D contour kit. Like there's other things I want to play with, and I've just been so loyal to that, trying to like hit pan on it. It's just not working. I only pick up a little bit of product at a time. Like I use a brush like this, an angled brush to apply my contour, and I don't use a whole lot of it. And recently I've actually been bronzing, and because I've been bronzing, I've been even lighter with my contour. I know it's a really weird world, guys. I've been wearing lip gloss, I've been wearing bronzer. I don't know, things go in cycles, I guess, so it's happening to me. All right, so I've got a few things left. This is also what I'd consider a victory. So I had these Silica Gel Microspheres, and I had put some into the Laura Mercier little travel size translucent powder container, and I've since been able to empty the bag and put the rest of it into this container. So this is all that I have left of this product. Feels really good. This is a really good powder. I really enjoy using it, although to be honest, because I've been using it so often, I'm really excited to try some new things. That's the good thing. And the bad thing about painting, like I was so afraid of finishing this because I was like, oh, if I want to repurchase it, I have to order from the States, and shipping to from the States, and it's so expensive and blah. And now I'm just like, you know what, I've used it for a while, I know it works for me, it's a good product, but I want to try some other things. So this container is pretty full now, this travel size container, but I'm going to continue to use it whenever I'm using a foundation that are really tacky, anything that might be kind of luminous as well. A really light dusting of that powder works so well at toning down that tackiness and making it so that I can put powder products on top of, because I'm not a cream or liquid kind of person when it comes to blushes and highlighters and stuff. I really like my powders, so I need to have a base that works with powder products, and that's when I will use that foundation, or that's when I will use that powder. It also works just to cover up pores, and I can buff it into the skin if I really want to, just to hide and camouflage pores, or if I just need a little extra coverage. If I feel like my concealer isn't sticking that well to places, I can set it with that powder and it works really well. So I feel good about being able to get rid of the little baggie and just having the container. So I've gone through a lot of this product over the last few months. All right, so the last two products that I'm still working on are two concealers from Anastasia, two shades, 0.5 and 0.75. So 0.5 I had already hit pan on before, and I've made significant progress on it, really significant progress. I didn't think that I was going to finish it just because it's a concealer and I don't use concealer that often. The places I will use this concealer are if I have any spots on my face, sometimes on my forehead where I have a little bit of psoriasis, and then to help carve out my eyebrows when I'm really extra. This shade is the 0.5, so that matches my skin tone better. So if I'm doing my brows first before I go in with foundation or anything like that, then I can carve out my brows with this product and then I can blend everything together, and it just seems to work pretty well. So it's a pretty good concealer. I find that it slips around a little bit. Sometimes I've had a few spots on my face that have been really hard to cover, and that's where I will try to go in with the combination of the concealer and the powder, and sometimes it still doesn't work because this concealer is pretty slippery. So it's not my favorite thing. It's not the best thing. I definitely, for certain spots of my face, prefer more like the stick style concealers. But for certain areas like this, I feel like it works really well on my forehead to cover the psoriasis. So I've been very grateful for that. I've also managed to use a little bit more of 0.75 as well. 0.75 is just a hint darker, so it works when I already have product on my face and I've already done like one go around of concealer and foundation and the 0.5 is just not working. The 0.75 will often work to cover enough. Sometimes it still moves around, sometimes just the nature of the product, but other times I feel like I can just add that extra layer and it covers up those things that really still peek through. It just works because it's slightly darker, and then I can just buff everything in and you can't tell that it's not exactly the right shade for me. I'm glad I have it, something that's a little bit darker, just because I feel like it can cover some of those spots better than 0.5 can, which is the color that just straight up matches my skin tone. So the 0.5 is what I would use to my brows. I never use 0.75 for my brows because it's too dark. It's just noticeable enough, especially if I take the concealer underneath and onto my lid. It's just not, it doesn't work. But the 0.75 will work on certain areas of my face. I will often use 0.75 as well around my nose, because sometimes I get redness on either side, and even I do tend to color correct there with green concealer, but sometimes I just need a little bit of extra concealer, and I find that because it's darker that it just doesn't shine attention to it, as opposed to 0.5, which sometimes can end up looking a little bit lighter than my foundation, depending on the combination I've got going on. So it's good to have a variety of stuff, because depending on what tones I'm working with on my face will depend on what concealer will work the best for me. So it's good to have some options, but I feel like it's going to take me a long time to finish them, just because I don't use that much at a time. And I don't necessarily use concealer every single day. I only use it when I need it. That's the thing that I've been trying to do more of with project panning, is actually doing less, is actually not applying so many products and so many different things when I don't need to. Every now and then the habits are hard to break and I will find myself layering product upon product, but I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic with my makeup application and applying makeup the way that I want to, what I actually like, as opposed to what I feel like I have to do. Because sometimes with project panning, you feel like you are obligated to finish so much stuff, but you don't have to. And if something's not working for you, then call it quits. And that's why I'm calling it quits with this project, because there's nothing to look forward to anymore, because it's really probably at least 3, maybe 4 months of consistent usage with all of these products before I would finish or hit pan on them. So that's why I am done, and I'm going to try some new things. I'm just going to experiment more with my makeup, and I think that's going to put me in an even better spot for starting fresh in 2018. I'm always looking forward to the new year at this point of the year, just to start with new things. So anyway, that's all for this project. Thank you guys so much for your support and for all of your understanding with these projects. It's been so much fun to take a different approach on panning, and I highly recommend it. If you are doing too much, or if you want to start a project pan, this is the kind of thing that I would recommend. Just using your everyday items and not trying too hard to finish them, just going on your own pace. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions, if I can be of any help to you throughout your panning journey. I am always here. You can reach me through comments here, send me an email, Send me a message wherever you know where to find me. I will gladly respond and help you the best way that I can. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.